How we doing? I picked up some flea market scores today, and I'm going to show you what I got. So the stuff on the floor was all free. There was a vendor there, and he just didn't want to carry the stuff around anymore, haul it back in the car or whatever. So he just kept coming out and throwing stuff on the floor in there, and a lot of USA made wrenches. So I'll clean these all up. One in particular that I really like is this. How cool is that? This little scratch all. Check out that handle. It's a shame. I think this is all one solid piece. So I don't know if I could possibly glue and clamp that, but this is nice. So, and there's some files, a 4-way, some Bonnie sockets. But that was all free. I bought some stuff off a different vendor, and she gave me a bunch of these cans. Let me see if I can angle the camera real quick to show you. See that right there at the bottom of the frame? All those cans she gave me for free. Some of them are still usable, but a lot of them are dried up. Like this is screen paint, but vintage cans she was selling, and obviously nobody had bought them, and she got tired of moving them. So she gave me all those. And I'll show you what I picked up from her first. I picked up a Shopmate drill, and it came with a metal case and a bunch of bits, and also all the paperwork from the time of purchase. This is a 3/8 drill. And I'm just trying to find a date real quick on here, but look at that, it's got the parts just like that Dremel tool I was showing you the other day that I got yesterday or whatever. Amazing. Warranty information. Yeah, again, I don't see a date, but I was just curious. Probably sometime from the 70s, 80s. I think it's probably 70s. Anyways, I'll show you the drill. This is Shopmate. Let's see if focus. 1,000 RPM. A few 0.4 amps. USA made. It's got a Supreme chuck, made in Chicago. It's got the original chuck key. It does work, and it has a handle, all steel handle, and they made this kind of one-sided, so this would be for a right-hander. I'm left-handed, so this wouldn't be comfortable for me to use the handle. Of course, I don't use these anyways, but you can see back then they didn't make it so you could put the handle on either side. So it's got the trigger lock, and it looks like forward only, no reverse, and the strain relief snapped off there and showing some wires, but I always replace the cords anyways. So I picked this up with case and bits. It was $5, and I also got this with it. So for $5 I got 2 drills, And then she threw in all those cans. Now this is a Speedway, and you know, I've never seen this brand in my life until I bought that other heavy duty piece there, the 1/2-inch drill that I just kind of cleaned up. This is a 3/8. And these guys are out of Illinois. And look at these little holes on the top. I guess this would be for you could just mount this, and that's kind of cool. I mean, that's a nice way to. Nowadays, you're kind of stuck just putting it on a shelf, but this is a super unique piece. Now look at how beautiful the case is. I mean, just imagine what they had to do to, you know, just above and beyond. That's sticking out. You know, but these plates, the cover plate, it's got a side cover plate and 2 bolts, and you're in there. And either side, so super easy to access anything to work on this. This doesn't have a chuck, but it's okay because I have one. I have one for it, so I'll put a chuck on it, clean this up inside and out. Now, what's unique about this, as well as everything else, is the trigger system. So it's just got see that? That's the actual switch. I've never seen one like this. It looks like it's got the lock. If you wanted to lock the trigger, you just go like that, and that'll hold it down. Release it, you go like that, and you can see right in there, it is grounded. It's probably an afterthought, but I mean, this has got to be an older piece. I'm not sure. Doesn't really give any date anywhere on the emblem. But how cool is this? So this is going to be a beauty when I'm done with it. Doesn't feel too comfortable. Maybe. But it seems this could be a little less horizontal. You know, maybe more vertical on the handle. Just seems like that would kind of strain your hand after a while. And of course, I have good sized hands, but my pinky is, you can see it's hanging right off it, so I'm only getting 4 fingers on, well, 3 fingers and a thumb on it. But I'm not sure what this switch up here does, to be honest. I don't know if that's, yeah, whatever it is, it doesn't stay up. I'll figure out what it is. But yeah, so for $5 I got this and the other drill there that I just showed you. So I'm excited about this one. I think this is a beautiful piece. And other than the chuck, I think it's all there. I don't think there's anything else. It's kind of strange, unless there's some kind of, I don't see how. I think it's just meant to be wide open on the bottom like that, you know. You definitely can see in the piece. A lot of different spots, but I'm impressed with Speedway. Again, I've never heard of the company, but the other drill I got by them is cool too. So got a few projects in the works. You might notice that I got the grinding stone I picked up. I got that turned on its side as a table right now. I started taking that apart. I'll show you real quick. So I just removed the stone and I took these brackets off for cleanup. Can you see in there? Can you see the ball bearings? It's got big ball bearings that appear to be fine. So my plan, I'm going to figure out how to get the shaft out of the wheel there and go from there, but I don't know how I'm going to do that. Doesn't appear to be any way to do so. So anyways, moving right along. The next vendor, so I bought items from 3 different vendors. The next vendor, I grabbed this old padlock for $1. And I think this takes a skeleton key, and I got a whole pile of skeleton keys recently that... this is a sergeant lock. And six lever. Sergeant 6 lever. It's got 23 stamped on the top. It's $1. The vendor that I got this stuff from that I'm showing you right now is super cool. He comes into the market late every time. Well, later. He's not showing up late, like not on time. He just comes later. He doesn't show up at 5 in the morning like the rest of the vendors do. This guy usually shows up about 10, and his prices are amazing. All right, so then I got one of these auto wrenches. This one is Crescent Tool Company, Jamestown, New York. And this is nice. John, I know you probably get a kick out of this. But it's got a little bit of mashing there on one of the jaws, but I'm gonna try to clean that up. I don't have a 1x30 sander. I have a couple belt sanders and various hand sanders, but nothing that I would use to clean this metal up evenly anyways. So I'm pretty much going to wire wheel it and then oil it up, but this would be a beautiful wrench for a full Scout Crafter kind of restoration. I have several of these auto wrenches. I don't have a Crescent. I've never seen a Crescent. This is a 9-inch, and for $1, I just can't believe this was still there, because I didn't even get to the market till 12:30. So that guy had been there a couple hours. And this is, it's got a little bit of rust on this piece here, where my thumb is. But overall, it's in outstanding shape as far as rust goes and whatnot, so nice piece. The last thing I grabbed from this guy is a $2 Black & Decker number 44 sander. That does work. I tested this. I tested it at home. I wasn't gonna test it there. You know, for $2, I figured I would roll the dice. So super nice. I have tons of sandpaper. I bought a couple different lots. I had the motherload of sandpaper. So I have every kind of sandpaper, every grit, every size, every style. So no problem there. This is pretty heavy. It's pretty heavy. Now, I also have a Harbor Freight hand sander. It's similar. It's more square as opposed to the rectangle, but it was like $13-14. But just my point of bringing that up is, you know, compare the two. Look at the quality of this piece and the materials used, and then think of the Harbor Freight, all plastic. So it's depressing to know the state of affairs we have here as far as the quality of the stuff that people are making. You know, they're making garbage. There's no pride in anything. It's all made in China. I was walking around Walmart getting groceries the other night, and everything was made in China. And I was talking to myself out loud. But so I grabbed those 3 things from that guy. I paid $2 for the sander and $1 for each of the other items, so $4. So then the last vendor, I picked up 4 items. 2 of these hand saws that I'm collecting. This particular one is Douglas Company in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I guess you would call this a jab saw. This would be good for drywall. Of course, you could cut wood with it. This is a pretty comfortable handle. It's a little small for my hand, but I guess, you know, my hands are pretty big. I'm 6'1", so. So there's that. That's the first saw. And then I got this Stanley. Of course, it's USA made. This is a 175R, and this looks like a brass threaded nut there, although you can't really make it out in the camera. So these were $2 a piece. I got 4 items at $2 a piece from this guy. So I spent a grand total of $17. $17 at the market, and that's not too bad. 5 on the 2 drills I showed you first. 4 on the sander and the other 2 pieces is 9. And then 8 on this stuff is 17. So this first piece is a International Harvester adjustable wrench. And I opened this pretty much to its max just to show you how wide it gets. It's about 3.5 fingers. It's pretty good. I mean, you're not turning much bigger than that. So this has a patent date of focus September 7th of 1897. So I think I've seen one of these in my travels, and this is kind of nicked up. It's been through the ringer. It was a tool somebody used, but I've seen one of these, and they wanted I think they wanted like 10 or 20 bucks for it. So this was $2. I grabbed it just because I don't have one. I think it's unique. I like it. It's got a lot of material, and hopefully I can get it cleaned up pretty well. Tell you, I got my hands full. I'm on fire buying stuff left and right. So the last item from the market is 192RR. Bear with me. This is 0K4 Greenfield tap wrench, and it's an older one. It's patent date of June 9th, 1914. Obviously, that's just the patent date, so I couldn't really tell you the year this was made, but it's definitely older. Looks like it was painted black. So, nice piece. $2. Alrighty, so I look online a lot for tools, and I look at different places, and Craigslist is probably the main one. There was a place on there and running an ad for like a little swap shop. It's like a little antique store kind of deal. It's I don't know. I think the guy buys lots. He buys storage units or something, or does cleanouts. But he's got a store, and it's pretty small, but he's got a decent amount of stuff, I guess. But I've been seeing his ads, and he has quite a bit of tools. And I managed to stop in there today. And his prices are great. You know, he doesn't want a ton of money for stuff, and that's awesome. So I got some stuff from him, and I'm going to show you right now. Okay, so I spent $10 with this guy. So $10 was the cost for all the stuff I'm showing you. Blue Point rubber mallet. This is the second Blue Point rubber mallet I have now. I think it's the same as the one I got the other day. I showed that on camera. And for example, he wanted $2 for that. He gave me some money off for this stuff, but he wanted $2 for that rubber mallet. I picked this up. It's a 1/2-inch Black & Decker drill. I picked it up for the chuck. I have a project that needs a chuck, that I'm going to use this on. So for $2, I figured I'd pick that up. Of course, I didn't even really have to pay $2 because I got everything for 10. So, all right, bear with me. So, I got a pipe threader. Set up, and this is I believe it's Wells Brothers. Let me see. Yeah, it's a Wells Brothers pipe threader setup, and he wanted $10 for this whole setup, and it's got a whole box of taps that came with it. I'll show you it all. So you got the main housing right here. It looks like this was replaced, and that's no problem. I'll get two that match. But this thing is huge, and this is brass. This sleeve in here is brass, and the handles come off. Probably seen these before, but these just thread out, and really, this has got to be. Well, it's up to my waist almost. It's got to be a good 3 foot and change. So I'm gonna get going cleaning this up next. This whole setup. So it came with a variety of different size dies, and I cleaned up the side of one of them to show you. Little Giant, Wells Brothers Company, out of Greenfield, Mass. And there's 4 of these that came with it, as well as this Pratt and Whitney die. One of these cheap tap handles. And Greenfield number 5. That's in excellent shape. And then this piece. I'm not sure what this is used for. I had one of these before I sold it. I had some machinist tools, and not quite sure what it does. The one that I had was a Starrett. I don't see Starrett or any other branding on this offhand, but that was in there in any event. And I'll bring over the box of taps. Couple smaller dies, but various taps. There's some bigger ones. You know, there's some other pieces in here too. This is like a reamer. It's actually a Craftsman. But these are all USA made taps. And put these with the collection. So that all came, and he was only asking $10 for the whole set, everything that I just showed you. Which I think is a pretty good deal. So I pretty much got it for $6. I got everything that I just showed you for $10. So that's a good deal. Anyways, that's about it for today. I'll probably have some more tomorrow, depending on if I make any stops. But you know, I spent $27, I think, on all this stuff. Can't really go wrong there. But I got a lot to do on the cleanup, and many projects to come on the power tools. So as always, thanks a ton for watching. I appreciate you all. Have a great night. Thanks.